Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everybody from different places around the world. Thank you for being here today for our last conference day of the second International Conference on Education. Our best thoughts and prayers for the people in Greece and other countries still struggling with fires. A thought to our academic member, Dr. Elpidas Klika from University of Strasbourg, France, that has lost her home in Evia, Greece. Once more, I will say how grateful we all are to the firemen, the volunteers, and the countries that are helping one another. Now, let's briefly again outline some important details for our program for the day. We really try to respect time. Presentations should give the main idea of our research. We have a maximum of 15 minutes to present, and we keep questions, if any, for the end of each session. If you chair a session, please remember that the most important is to be able to keep the time. For the parallel sessions that we have right away with Dr. Michael Altamirano, Emis Aphroditi, Maria Koulahi, that I don't know if she's here. If not, we will chair the session, don't worry. For the parallel session leaders will be given the right to record the session on their computer and then send it to us, because we don't have the right to record the different rooms. We will interact also via the chat. I'm very glad that we have already started interacting via the chat, and I love this. You can make comments, ask questions to the presenters that the chairs and we as well will collect and discuss at the end of each session. The important is the interaction we have. For that reason, we ask you to stay throughout this wonderful event. It is tiring, we know. This is why we propose many music breaks to relax and stretch in order to become able to interact better. I don't know, Dr. Kan, you are Vice Dean and Professor of Zhejiang University, China, was supposed to be here to say something, but since I do not see him, we will go on, and if he appears, we know the different problems with connection that China has, and I wasn't really aware how important this is. So even if I don't see them now with us, congratulations for their effort to participate, and this is very, very important and impressive. Now, shall we start with the session, dear Luis? What do you propose? Or we...
I think it is better to make maybe another break by the
Okay.
time
We can a little bit try to interact, since we are among friends. Kalimera, dear Zan, and we can open our cameras as well to interact a little bit and wait for other participants to join. And we will start on time, of course. The conferences, as you have seen, we always try to respect time, because this is a remote event. So we try to respect time, to respect people that are trying to attend, and to respect different time zones that since participants come from different countries around the world. Would you like to share something? Someone?
Your impression on the conference, maybe?
May I ask what the latest news is on the fires in Athens?
Evangelos, who is, because he's following the information, so he might, because he also impacted his family house, I think, or relatives are impacted. So Evangelos, would you like to share something?
Well, I've been following more the fire on my island area. Athens, the last I read was that it's sort of spreading up the mountainside, Parnitha, which is one of the mountains on the, important for Athens for many reasons since antiquity. On my father's island, even the fires that had been extinguished are now coming on again. In our village, people are organizing volunteer groups to help those mostly affected, and I'm waiting to see what happened to the livestock because people there had, and I'll post at some point to our group, I have magnificent videos of what I call the gamelan. You know the gamelan, the Javanese and Balinese music, the gamelan of the goats with bells going through the forest. If those goats are lost, I'm really, what to say. So that's it. Sorry, I dragged on more than time allows, but it's my heart is.
Evangelos, yes, we all understand, and we are in the situation, and we maybe with also the Communication Institute of Greece try to actively do something, because this situation with the climate and all the different countries that suffer is very important to try to act. And we are a great community of academics, so we certainly discuss about this. I see that Dr. Kan Yue, Vice Dean and Professor, Zhejiang University, China, is here. So I give him the floor to say something.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Margarita. So the first, I'm sorry for the late because the bad net connection. So the first, I would like to express my sincere congratulations for the opening of the second international conference on education. I would like express my appreciation to Dr. Margarita. Without your contribution, we have no chance to meet together online for this great event. So thank you for your great job for this very important meeting. And actually, I have a lot of links with your institute and with your group. Several years ago, my colleague, Professor Chen Wang from Beijing Normal University, to co-organize the first meeting with you. And he told me it's a very important and a very successful meeting, and invited me to join you for the second one. And last year, we do a lot of job for the meeting, but for the COVID-19, so it's a very huge challenge. So we cannot meet face-to-face for the meeting at Greece at Athens. So we postponed the meeting for this year. So we met the same problem. So we have to meet online. But I think it's also a very good opportunity and chance for us to work together, especially at this very important occasion. So I think education is very important solution for the crisis and the pandemic at this time. So we should work together to solve these problems and have more collaboration to conquer this crisis. And I think after this pandemic, we can still work together, and maybe you can visit my university in Hangzhou in China, so we can still have the collaboration and conferences just like this. So I should say thank you to Dr. Margarita for your great jobs, and I would like to work with all of you for our closer cooperation in the future. Thank you for your invitation and provide this opportunity. So I would like to have more opportunities to work with you and for closer cooperation. Thank you all.
Thank you very much, Professor Yu Kan. And what I said earlier, when you hadn't joined this opening of the third and last conference day, is that I give, we all give, because coming is not just me, we are a wonderful community, and you can see Dr. Michael Altamirano here, Luis Calebre-Manda, Dr. Jurgen Rudolph, Vangelos Afendras, Dr. Fotini Diamandidaki, who is connecting now. We are really, and all the others, of course, a wonderful community, and we are working all together hand by hand to provide positive examples, and so that it is only via collaboration and exchange that we can try to ameliorate this world. And what we said about China, we referred to the difficulties of connection of the students that have joined from the first day, and we congratulate them and you as well for providing them the opportunity to open up a little bit, because this is quite important. I myself spent it almost 10 years in France, where I did my studies, my first degree, second degree, and the PhD, and this is this opens the horizons very much to everybody. So all the students, all the people should travel, see other cultures, meet other cultures, and be together to make this world a better place, work together for the peace, for the good of the humanity. This is so important because, as I said also, and I always say, we have 1,000 months to live if we count to arrive at the age of 83 and something. And we are here to make something important, to have a purpose in life, to make and give and share positivity and love to everybody. And this is what the Communication Institute for Greece is working for and is trying for. And thank you for being here with us and your intention to collaborate. This is very important because the difference of cultures doesn't mean that we are not humans and we are not all trying for a better world. And this, what happens actually with the environment and the fires in Greece, if you have heard, and in many other places around the world, is something we should act, and we should do things to provide the possibility to people to live in a world where they can breathe and they can drink the water and they can go out and they can be well together. Thank you very much. And I believe who would like, until we have 5 minutes, someone to say something until we start with the parallel sessions. As we said, And for Aphrodite that joins now and is chairing the Acropolis session, Aphrodite, the chairpersons are asked to record the session on their computer and then share it with us.
Okay, that's fine.
Okay. So would someone like to say something before we start? Okay, I believe then.
I was just going to say, Margarita, if I could just say that thank you very much, and I feel honoured to be welcomed to the community. I think that there is a common purpose that I can see amongst my colleagues, that we sing from the same song sheet. I think we have a similar idea of how we see education, and I can see going forward the potential for more collaboration and greater integration in terms of projects amongst us. I think one of the positive things I can think from the pandemic is international research has become easier. It is easier to meet online without having to think about international travel and claiming the costs from your institution, etc., etc. So whilst it would have been fantastic to be in Athens this summer, apart from the fires, of course, this is terrible, but I think that we can talk and have conversations and continue conversations online and meet online and think about projects together where we can talk about how we can share our common humanity and develop education more positively for the future.
Thank you, dear Jean. What you said is correct, and we should keep the positive out of anything and continue seeing things positively. This is the only way we can go on, and then make actions, even little actions. I'm not talking about very big actions, at least at the beginning, and then who knows, we might be able to change the world and make things better. So at least we should try. Okay, I believe that we can, Louis, make 2 rooms, Plaka room and Acropolis room, where we will place the presenters.
Yes.
The chairpersons, I repeat, are asked to record the session on their computer, and then we will communicate to see how. Michael, are you able to record it from where you are?
Microphone, Michael.
Microphone, yeah.
Yes, I believe so.
Okay,
Yeah,
great.
so-
We'll make a try, and we will be there as well to help. And each participant is able to change rooms and see the presentations.
So there are 2 rooms today. There are Plaka and Acropolis. So normally every participant should be able to choose the room he wants to go. If not, you can ask me to put you in a room, and I will.
A little bit louder, Luis. We cannot listen to you. Sorry.
I was just saying that if you are not able to join the room, just tell me which room do you want to go in, and I'll be glad to put you in.
How do you actually join a room? How does it work?
So you have a small icon called group discussion or breakout room in the Zoom, and there's a list of non-affected people, and there's a list of different rooms. You can select the room you want by clicking on join next to the room. So there's Plaka, Acropolis, Syntagma, Monastiraki, Kolonaki. So now there's people joining rooms. If you can't, just tell me which room do you want to go, and I'll be glad to put you in. So I see Fontini asked me to put her in the room. Oh, she did that self. Okay.
Aphrodite in Acropolis.
Yes, Aphrodite and Acropoli.
Can you please help me with Plaka?
Yeah. Plaka it is.
Thank you.
So I see also the participants that are connected. Professor Khan, which room do you want to go in, Professor Khan?
Would you like to stay, Professor Yu Khan, and join a room? Do you have the program of the conference?
Yes, several of our colleagues joined this meeting, so I think they can contribute to this meeting.
Okay, if you would like to stay with us, stay as you like. It would be our pleasure.
Okay, so I'm keep putting people in rooms. I see.
Maybe put Professor Yu Khan at the breakout room Plaka, and if he decides to stay or.
Good. Plaka it is. So, Jan, which room do you want to go in, please? Okay.
And then for Jan, I don't know. Well, hello, everybody. I believe we can start our next session with education in the era, in the new era, from a difficult past to a promising future. So this session will be 11:40 to 12:20, as we said. We will take a 10-minute break, and then we will have, if we need to, and then Dr. Michael Altamirano will be there for the community exchange session, 12:30 or 12:20 to 1 o'clock, and we'll take a break 1 to 2 o'clock. Of course, we will correct everything on the program, but since we are here and we are now, we made some small adaptations. And I give the floor to Sotirios Maipas to chair the session. I believe that Yufei Wang and Fang Kong Wang are here. I don't see Fang Hui Huang, so we have two presenters for this session. Professor Sotirios Maipas.
Thank you very much. Good morning from Egina. Good afternoon, good evening. I don't know from where you are attending the conference. We have two PhD students for this section. I think we can start with Yufei Wong. Are you here?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay. No.
I'm here.
You can start.
Okay, thank you. Hello, everyone. Good morning, and I'm Wang Yufei, and a PhD student from Beijing Normal University. and I'm very glad, and it's my pleasure to be here for this presentation. The topic I want to share with you today is the action logic of vocational education talent training in the perspective of the deep integration of industry and education in the new era. And my presentation includes the three parts. The part one is about the logic framework, and next is the practical difficulties, and last is the discussion and conclusion about the action logic of talent training in the vocational education.
Dear Yufei, try to approach a little bit your microphone because we barely listen to what you say because of the microphone. Try to approach the microphone. Thank you.
Okay. The deep integration of industry and education is the basic feature of the training of the technical talents in the new era, and it's the only way for the success of international vocational education. And in order to adopt the needs and the needs of development of the new era needs more elements of the cooperation. To speed up the cultivating high quality innovative vocational education talents are the key, and to build based on the deep integration of industry and education. And next is the part one about the logical framework of the talent cultivation in vocational education. And according to the dynamic characteristic of technical skills, a multi-dimensional and dynamic dimensional model for shaping technical skills is established, and with the enterprises and the vocational college and the government are the bottom, and to support the new reform of the vocational education talent training, and to construct the three-dimensional model with the enterprises and the colleges as the main body, and the government place their roles determines determine the capacity of the development choices and pattern, and the government decision making and implementation determine the height and the direction of the development. And next is building in relationship. First, the reciprocal cooperation between the enterprise and the vocational colleges. And second is the continuous interaction between vocational colleges and the government. And last is the government encourages and supervise the enterprise. And part two is about some problems and the practical difficulties in the cultivation of vocational education talents. The deep integration of the industry and the education is often in trouble at a practical operational level, and which seriously hinders the transformation of economic development mode and industry, and is chronic problems that restricts the training of the vocational education. So the number one is the policy support and the legal protection are not sufficient. Number one is the top level system design like the can, and number two is specific feasible places and regulations are missing, and last is effectiveness of the code. And the next problem is the enterprise is constrained by the concept of unitary participation. So on the one hand, the enterprise or awareness of talent cultivation is a little weak, and the driving force of the enterprise participation is not enough, and the sense of social responsibility is not strong, and they passively participate in teaching and management. So it's difficult for college to introduce high quality talent from enterprise into the practical teaching system. And on the other hand, our country in China is in the intentional stage of development of market mechanism, and the enterprise participation in vocational education has little effect. And the last problem is vocational college. Colleges encounter the double barriers instead. First, the subject knowledge system and the curriculum structure need to be reshaped, and subject barriers block the free flow of subject knowledge and technology. And second is the construction of double qualified teachers is in a panic, and it mainly includes the structure imbalance of double qualified teachers and the optimization of teachers' training links. And based on the above discussion and analyze, let's start to explore the action logic of talent training in vocational education. So the first part is the multiple precipitation vitality. It's a good atmosphere. It's a good atmosphere for the cultivation of vocational education talent. The formation of talent is not only affected by the industry production strategy of enterprises, but also by multiple factors such as political and economic. Social cooperation system is one of the basic guarantee system for the skill formation, and cultivated and stimulated diversified social cooperation forces and forms. And the atmospheres of social cooperation involving multiple parties is interactive. So there includes the 3 points. The point one is update the concept, and including the deep precipitation and overall layout. And number two is establish the training system, and the last is innovating the in running schools. For example, including introducing the enterprise into the education.
You have 5 minutes to go, dear Yufei.
Okay, thank you. And next is the new pattern of linkage. and is the necessary way of vocational education talent cultivation. So first point is develop and operate talent training program. On the one hand, we must adhere to strengthen the ability as the core training objectives. And on the other hand, it's necessary to formulate the dynamic and flex evaluation. And next is to reconstruct the 4-in-1 practical teaching system. And the last is the two-way and multi-dimensional modern vocational education teachers team. And two-way means the teacher should have academic-oriented and technological-oriented knowledge and skill structure. And multi-dimensional means the double quantified teachers should not only master various technologies as well, but also form the diversified source of teachers. So the last part is the governance mechanism. This part includes the 4 points. The point 1 is legal and policy guaranteeing mechanism, and mandatory support of legislation is the guarantee of skill formation. And second is the school enterprise cooperation mechanism. And the third is incentive, and the third is the incentive compensation. And the government should provide guidance for school enterprise optional cooperation in educating people. And the last point is the quality evaluation mechanism of personnel training. The quality evaluation of personnel training can be carried out from both internal and external level. And the internal evaluation mainly refers to the self-evaluation with vocational college, and including student evaluation and the teachers evaluation. Okay, that's all about my presentation. Thank you for your listening.
Thank you very much, dear Yufei. I will take a little bit the role of Dr. Maipas to say thank you so much. This was Yufei Yang, PhD student, Faculty of Education, Beijing Normal University, China, and her research is intitulated The Action Logic of Vocational Education Talent Training in the Perspective of Deep Integration of Industry and Education in the New Era. Dr. Maipas, would you like to introduce our next presenter, please?
Yes. Now the PhD student Franco Wang will follow. Is he or he here? I cannot see the.
Yeah, I'm here.
Are you here? Oh, yes. You can start.
Okay.
You have 15 minutes. 15 minutes.
Sorry,
dear Franco Yuang,
stop your screen. Okay.
You can say that this research was made with, I pronounce badly, sorry, Huayang Zhang and Hingui Si, and it is intitulated An Empirical Study on the Influence of Social Media on the Interpersonal Relationship of Middle School Students.
Okay. Hello, everyone. Today, my title is An Empirical Study on the Influence of Social Media on the Interpersonal Relationship of Middle School Students. Now, I will introduce this study from the following parts. As we know, with the development of society, social media plays an important role in people's daily life, which affects their life satisfaction, social trust, and emotion. The methods of communication have changed from face-to-face, letter, and others in the past virtual and networks. Interpersonal communication is an important part of individual social needs, and it has formed in the process of interpersonal communication. Good interpersonal relationship can promote adolescents' mental health, self-awareness, and academic achievements. We know in China, middle school students include junior and senior middle school students, of which junior middle school students include grades 7, 8, and 9, and the senior middle school students include grades 10, 11, and 12. Middle school students nowadays are mostly the generation of the 2000s, who are digital natives, and they grew up with digital technologies such as the internet and the mobile phones. However, middle school students are in a period of rapid development of psychology, and their psychological development will be reflected in their interpersonal communication. Therefore, the emergencies of social media will have a significant influence on their interpersonal relationships. The quality of interpersonal relationships determines whether they can have a healthy psychological development. What are the effects of social media on the interpersonal relationship of middle school students, and how to give correct guidance to these students as to social media and help them to build proper interpersonal relationships? These questions are worth further research. Next, let's look at the part 2 literature review. Compared with adults, the interpersonal relationship of middle school students is relatively simple, mainly including three kinds, parent and kind relationship, peer relationship, and the teacher and student relationship. Anthony defines social media as a new type of defined online media that can give users a lot of space to participate. For social individuals, social media can promote users to participate in social activities. Therefore, interpersonal relationships should include social participation relationship between individuals and society. Social media can easily affect the three characteristics of adolescent development. Social cognitive ability, self-concept, and self-esteem, peer group relationships. Among them, social cognitive ability refers to the ability to understand and manage multi-source social information, including empathy, anticipation, and perception of others' responses, and assessing the status of individuals in social groups. Therefore, the use of social media for interpersonal communication, in addition to interpersonal interaction and social participation, should also include the individual's self-awareness. Wait a minute. In this paper, the influence of social media on the interpersonal relationships of middle school students is considered in three aspects. Interpersonal interaction is the interaction between individuals, including interaction with peers, teachers, and strangers. Interpersonal cognition refers to an individual's evaluation of others, self-awareness, and self-representation, such as published dynamics through social media showing their self. Social participation refers to the individual's participation in social activities. Next, I will introduce the research design. This study investigated 231 middle school students from 2 middle schools in Guangzhou and interviewed 3 teachers, including the head teacher and the information technology subject teacher. This questionnaire in this study includes 2 parts. The first part is the personal data, such as gender, grade, and the second part is the influence of social media on interpersonal relationship. Based on the existing questionnaire of interpersonal relationship, they designed a first draft of the questionnaire and revised it by 2 experts. The second part of the questionnaire is measured with a Likert 5-point scale, in which 1 means strongly disagree and 5 means strongly agree. Before the implementation of the questionnaire survey, we randomly selected 37 participants for a pilot study and found that the overall reliability alpha is 0.807, indicating a high reliability. This part is mainly designed from 3 aspects: interpersonal interaction, interpersonal cognition, and social participation, including 6 dimensions and 16 questions. Different questions are used to test different dimensions. The interview outline includes 6 questions. The content of the interview involves the evaluation of social media and the current situation of middle school students using social media for communication and the teachers' attitudes. Next, using the above research tools, we carried out the research. Next part is the results. First, we make a description of the influence of social media on the interpersonal relationship of middle school students in various dimensions. As we can see from the table above, social media has a greater influence on the communication between middle school students and their peers. The use of social media can promote and strengthen the communication of most middle school students and their peers. And social media can partly influence middle school students to express, present themselves, and participate in activities. The influence of social media on the interpersonal relationship of middle school students is not significant in 3 aspects. Secondly, we have an analysis of the influence of social media on the interpersonal relationship of middle school students of different genders. As seen on the table above, there might be not significant. To analyze whether there is a significant in different genders, we conducted the t-test as shown in table 3. The results show that the p-value of using social media to communicate with teachers is less than 0.05, which indicates that there is a significant difference between different genders in using social media to communicate with teachers, and the social media promotes and strengthens communication between boys and the teachers in middle school students significantly than girls. Otherwise, in the other 5 dimensions, the influence is not significant. And thirdly, we have an analysis of the influence of social media in different grades, as seen on the table above. To analyze whether there is a significant in different grades, we conducted a one-way ANOVA with grade as the factor and shown in the table 5. The LSD test shows that there is a significant difference between grades 7, 9, and 10 in using social media to communicate with teachers. Social media promotes and strengthens the communication between 7th graders and the teachers more significantly. In terms of the use of social media for self-presentation, there is a significant difference between grades 10, 7, and 9. 10th graders use social media to present themselves less frequently. In terms of the influence of social media on self-behavior and the evaluation of others, there is a significant difference between grade 9 and 7, 10, 11, and there is also a significant difference between grade 12 and others. 9th graders are more likely to be influenced by social media on self-behavior and others' evaluation, and compared to the other graders, 12th graders are more likely to be influenced by social media on self-behavior and others' evaluation. In terms of using social media to participate in social activities, there is a significant difference between 7th graders and 10th graders. 7th graders are more likely to use social media to participate in social activities than 10th graders. The last part is the discussion and the conclusion of the article. This part mainly discusses the possible reasons for the research results in this study. Firstly, for interpersonal interaction, we can know from the above research results, middle school students use social media to communicate more with peers, but less with teachers and with strangers. Teachers still regard them as children and limit them too much in learning, which makes them reluctant to communicate with teachers, and the relationship with teachers is weakened. Relevant research have also shown that teachers recognize the significance of teacher and student communication after class, but don't act well. Besides, for different grades, there is a significant difference. Relevant research have also shown that the quality of teacher and student relationship is the best for 7th graders. Secondly, for interpersonal cognition, we can know from the above research results, interpersonal cognition includes 3 aspects. Interpersonal cognition, three aspects. For self-presentation, there is a significant difference between 10th graders, 7th graders, and 9th graders. In the interview, some teachers said that the school does not advocate the use of social media. For senior middle school students, most of them are forbidden to use mobile phones on campus. On the other hand, social media has little effect on the self-behavior of middle school students and the evaluation of others. It's different for different grades. In these 2 aspects, it has a greater impact on students in grades 9 and 12. The reason may be that in the face of middle school and college entrance examinations, 9th graders and 12th graders tend to have greater psychological pressure, which is easy to cause anxiety and mood fluctuation. Therefore, the behavior of others on social media is more likely to cause changes in self-behavior and the evaluation of others. Finally, for social participation, middle school students are more willing to use social media to focus on social activities, but they are less likely to express their opinions and discuss with others. Some studies have also shown that most participants are reluctant to share their knowledge and views. That's my presentation. Thank you.
Thank you so much, dear Fan Kong Yang. Sorry to Mr. Sotirios Maipas that I take a little bit of his role, but because he wasn't the previous days, I'm a little bit showing him. May I ask one more time if Fang Hui Huang is here with us? So I don't think so. So we can go on to questions. If you have any questions, we have the chat box, or you may speak. And I will leave Dr. Sotirios Maipas to guide you from now on.
Both presentations were excellent, very good. Congratulations. I hope you have the same problem with us when pronouncing our names. Since enterprises provide the so-called real environment, the collaboration does create a mutual benefit. I agree with Ms. Wong. However, there is a gap between training and practice, between theory and real environment, and modern education has to reduce the width of this gap. I think that social media which offer both opportunities and risks may help us in order to reduce this gap. I have not any questions. So if somebody wants to ask something.
I believe Dr. Diamantidaki is raising a hand.
Yes.
Yes, Fotini.
Thank you so much, Sotirios and Margarita. Thank you very much for the 2 presentations that I found very interesting. I will start with a comment and then a question to First to Yufei Wang, and then to Fang Wang. Starting with Yufei, if that's okay with you, Yufei. Thank you for bringing out in your presentation, unfortunately, the clear lack of attention, infrastructure of vocational education in your context. And I don't think it's only in your context. I think there is an issue globally of how we perceive education, which is, let's say, more mainstreamed, more elite versus the more vocational courses. I happen at the moment to have moved to Switzerland. This is the first time in my life where I have seen vocational education being at the forefront. I haven't seen that in any other country. I've lived in many countries, and there is a very good infrastructure from the age of 12 years old and above for students and they value vocational education from a very young age. And they're very, very proud of this. And again, I haven't seen that in any other country. So based on your context so far, and that growing need to pay more attention to the infrastructure of courses, what do you think drives that growing need in your context? Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for your question. Could you please pardon the last sentence you mentioned? My network is not very good.
Your microphone, dear, you face, sorry.
Yeah, just I think there's a little bit something
to
with
your
the microphone. Yeah, if you could just go a little bit maybe more center, in the center. Yeah. But yes, I can repeat the question. What do you think drives that growing need for vocational infrastructure? Why do you think it's important right now that possibly wasn't maybe a few years ago, many years ago? Think there is a reason behind it?
Today, the vocational, can you hear me? Can you hear me? Okay, I think my major is vocational and technical education. So my research is about vocational education. The vocational education now in the world is become more and more important, especially in the industry in our global world is become more and more important. So the vocational education of all people, young people and all children is become more significant.
So I'm asking, why do you think it has become significant right now and more important?
Because we all know some students may get good grades in the schools, but some students they may have good they may don't get the good grades, but their technical knowledge or something their hand ability is very good, and the industry in the world become more and more important. So we need some workers have the global competence to develop the country, to develop the technology and the industry in their country. So we now need more. We need more modern workers in today's world. So that means the vocational education is become more and more important. And I think it's another way for children's success, another way for children to be successful in their own life.
Yes, thank you. I just want to maybe make a comment. I personally don't see that vocational education is at the deficit of the mainstream, and if you don't have good grades. Maybe someone else would like to comment on this. I think both, if you like, paths are equally important for society. And we shouldn't consider that, okay, I don't have good grades, I'm not good enough to go to university or things like that. But actually, you know, who will be the plumber, the electrician, the technical workers that we need in society if everybody actually tried to go to university and then has no job? I don't know what the others are thinking about this, but I don't think it should be compared on something less than it is. Okay. I have another question for Fan Kong, if that's okay, if there's no comments on this. Am I okay to ask a question to Fan Kong?
Yes, yes, of course.
I followed on, I don't know if Fan Kong is there, I hope you are. I followed your presentation with great interest in, first of all, the interest starting from a personal point of view, living with a teenager. One of my children is a teenager, and in that sort of middle school situation where they feel the pressure, if you like, to use social media in order to interact and participate with peers mainly, I would say. And one of your findings actually highlighted that need to interact with peers. What I have a little bit more difficulty in accepting in a way is the interaction between teachers and students at that age. You can correct me, you know, you can challenge me on this. I'm just wondering, first of all, of the nature of the communication that a teacher and a student would have or need to have beyond school hours, during school hours. What would that be for? That, first of all, is my first question. To Fan Kong, if he's there, I don't know.
Wait a minute.
I think you're muted.
No, he asked for a minute. He said, wait a minute.
Ah, sorry, I didn't hear that, sorry.
Okay. The student and the teacher in China were the mobile phone in senior middle school are forbidden in campus. So the students use the mobile phone, and the social media maybe is out of the school, and so it's probably with the peers and the maybe the strangers.
We cannot hear you.
Okay, now can you hear me?
Yes, yes.
Okay, and in China, the senior middle school students are forbidden in campus to use the mobile phone and social media. So it's mainly the students use the mobile phone and the social media is out of the school. So it's significant for students to communicate with peers, and maybe the strangers is more significant with teachers.
Okay, this is the reason I asked this question is because in your study, you're talking about the fact that the teachers do not engage with students via social media weakens their relationship. And I just wanted to, maybe he could comment on this, if this is one of your findings. In which way? Is it the teachers refusing because they're refusing? Well, I mean, if it is forbidden already, then there is no question that why would a relationship be weakened if it is not allowed in the first place?
Yeah, it's not be allowed in campus.
Thank you, that's all for me.
If we don't have any other questions, we could pass to the session, then the community exchange session, if you are okay with this. Dr. Michael Altamirano will chair this, and I consider this very important. So we could take 2 or 3 more minutes. It's about the importance to inspire and get inspired in education. And we would like our Chinese PhD students to stay with us if possible. And a big congratulations for me as well for all your effort and research and effort to participate in international events and open up. And this is great. Thank you very much. Thank you very much as well, Dr. Maipas, for chairing this session. You can stay if you have the possibility. Michael.
Thank you, Margarita. Am I still going until 1?
Yes, and we will have a lunch break 1 to 2 o'clock. Thank you.
Okay, great. Hello, everyone, and I am happy to chair this session, which is about the importance to inspire and get inspired in education, which is a very relevant topic for all of us here who are participating today. And I want to present the 2 questions for discussion. The first is, do you believe in inspiration while studying or teaching? And the second question is, do you have any inspirational examples, techniques, case studies to share? And also, I think we're all, working under the same reality of teaching or learning during a pandemic. So I think this is all a very relatable topic, and I want to just open up the floor for anyone who wants to get us started with any responses to the questions. You could raise your hand or write a comment, and I'd be happy to share with the rest of the group. Go ahead, Evangelos.
Thank you, Michael. I really can say that my whole life has been motivated and driven by inspiration, to start with from my family circles and even the context. And subsequently by motivating teachers who really inspired in different ways, not just me, but many of us. And somehow I hope I brought this to my own teaching, and I have had examples. I mean, recently, one of my students from my first teaching back in the mid-60s connected with me through Facebook. He was wondering if I remembered him. I did. And told me that I inspired him, and he specialized in linguistics because that's what I was teaching at the time. Now, why I was inspirational, I think it was enthusiasm that poured into my classes, my teaching and my learning. But what I want to focus on is an example from my more recent teaching, the previous decade in Oman, where inspiration was generated through project-based learning, which focused on the immediate environment that surrounded me and my students. And at one point, the specific topic that came up was connection. And this was because we were so, how to put it, dissatisfied and distant from the textbooks that had been used to teach business communication for the students of commerce and economics. These were always American textbooks written for American students with their experiences, their culture, their history. And I realized very, very soon that they were totally inadequate. Students had no such background and therefore could not appreciate anything from basic concepts to examples. So we came up with a topic through mutual brainstorming to connect back. And the other factor was that Oman has a history of some 4,000 years of international trading through maritime routes, you know, with the Middle East and South and Southeast Asia. So it was, to me, ridiculous to be learning something that was in their DNA, basically, from textbooks written for a nation that was established, you know, a couple of centuries ago, and good for them, but not to use their textbooks and their examples. So we came up with a topic of connecting with their grandparents, granduncles, and aunties, and so on and so forth, about their business experiences. So the topic was oral histories of Omani entrepreneurs and entrepreneurs. And it was fantastic. I mean, I'll give you one comment and stop. That came up from a student. She was an Omani Baluchi, you know, Baluchistan divided between a number of countries in Asia. It's another case like Kurdistan of a people with ancient history and no country of their own, divided. So she wrote first in her reflective diary and then in her presentation and reports. She studied the experiences of her granduncle who was living in the household. And she said, I had lived with this person for 18 years and didn't know anything about him. So she learned about her granduncle who was in the same household only when she interviewed him in depth about his business experiences throughout the previous decades. So this, to me, was a tremendous case of inspirational learning. Thank you, and excuses for the length.
Thank you so much, Evangelos. Fotini, I think you had your hand up. Please, are you inspired, and can you give us examples?
Always inspired by everyone around me, and I think that's what I wanted to add to a little bit on the concept and the definition of inspiration. How can we become ourselves inspiring leaders or inspirational examples to the people around us, including family and professional context as well? I do believe what Evangelos said in terms of what are the attributes of inspiration. Definitely enthusiasm. And I think also when you communicate whatever it is to show that you truly care about the person in front of you, that you tailor the educational process to their needs, and not only needs in a bad way, but in a challenging way, so that you always keep challenging yourself, and that the students or members of your community actually see that you truly, truly care. And I think for me, that has been the path to, as my students say, that I'm an inspiration to them, in the sense that where I started my journey, where I am at the moment, and the fact that showing that everything is possible in life, and that the path of success, however we measure success, is not linear, and it's not specific to, in a way, a specific context, but to show them that the potential can also start from having nothing, to help them actually develop that sense of confidence in themselves. So I'm always also inspired by my students, and continuously changing my pedagogy and methodology to help them bring out the best of themselves. And I think that's, for me, what defines inspiration in this process. Thank you.
Thank you, Fotini. You know, you and I have so much in common. When you describe your experiences, I relate to your experiences so much. As a professor, you know, when I have my students in groups, there's always a few students that are overachievers, and we all know that. And it's sometimes almost difficult to pay attention to the students that need more attention, and then we take for granted the other students. But I really try to circle back and make sure that I'm including everyone and encouraging everyone equally, because the good ones are very hard. You're not intentionally forgetting them, but they don't require as much attention. But it's also equally important to acknowledge that they're doing very well, and to try to encourage them as well whenever we have an opportunity. Thank you. Jürgen, please.
Thank you so much. I also thought that Fotini made a very important point, that students can also inspire me and us in general. A couple of examples. So I think one very interesting student, and I also thought about sharing this in the earlier session where we talked about homeschooling, was actually a homeschooled Singaporean student, who was probably my best student ever. So I thought it was quite interesting when I found out that she was homeschooled. That was something very special, and she actually asked me for advice, because the university where she was studying and where I taught offered her a scholarship for a certain amount, and then she asked me whether she should take it. And I said no. And of course I was sweating over it, because what if my advice turns out bad? Then she lost the scholarship. But I was very, very convinced by that lady that she actually could get something much better. And I was very pleased when she got a full PhD scholarship at a university in Melbourne, you know, after having completed her bachelor. So because she was that brilliant. And one example of a student who inspired me, some 5-6 years ago, I was also teaching in a different bachelor program. And I had the student, he always wanted to talk to me about stocks. And I like stocks. So he found the perfect person to talk to, of course. And then he said, oh, you should look into this, you should look into that. And I immediately took this guy quite seriously, because I realized this is an interesting guy. And in the meantime, he has started this subscription service where he picks stocks, you know, and where you have to pay for membership. And I'm a paying member. He did not offer it to his teacher for free, which I thought was perfectly fine. I mean, since he's obviously putting a lot of work into that. Yeah, and he's really very, very good and inspiring, and making all his members really good money. So just 2 small stories from me.
Thank you for sharing that, Jürgen. And please, by all means, if you want to share his link, I'm sure there's some people here that may be interested in subscribing and also making more money. Does anybody else have any comments or any questions regarding our discussion topic and discussion questions? I'm checking to see if anybody has written anything. No, I have no comments. No comments here. You know, one of the things that, if I'm waiting for, oh, okay. I see some participants have raised their hands. Let me see who's here. Okay, nobody has raised their hand. Fotini, you have your hand raised?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I actually wanted to pick up on Evangelos' comment in the chat, which I don't know why, Evangelos, but I was thinking exactly the same thing. And then I wanted to make that point. And let's see it in the chat. I think that's amazing. For me, what really inspires me actually is to find emotional intelligence in people and to nurture that. Because I think that's missing a lot. And when I see it, that this is happening in front of me, I feel very emotional myself, because I think that's the source of inspiration for me. So I just wanted to comment, and I'm just amazed that this was also in the chat. So thank you.
Yes, thank you, Evangelos.
And for me, when I see emotional intelligence, because I'm in teacher education and my students work in schools, and they are interacting with young students from the age of 11 to 18, so in secondary school, I keep telling them this is the main thing you need to have to understand and inspire in the classroom. If you understand how the youngsters operate and feeling empathy and generally being intelligence at that level, and then the rest will gradually, you will learn the rest, you will learn the pedagogy. And so when I see this happening in the classroom, I feel always inspired. Thank you.
As do I, Fatini. Emotional intelligence is very much a leadership principle, and there is nothing but leadership that surrounds education. If I'm waiting for anyone to raise their hand, I will share this other thing that inspires me. I'm a first generation college graduate, and I come from a family where no one ever went to high school, that whole generation of my parents. And when I graduated high school, I didn't immediately go to college because it wasn't anything that was important to me because of my cultural, sociological upbringing. The reason I decided to go to college, I was in my late 20s, early 30s, was because I was a father, and I wanted to do something that would set an example for my children. And it just so happens that as I progressed with my education and I eventually became a professor after a very good career as a professional, I realized that there are so many students that I'm surrounded by that are also first generation college students. And I believe the inspiration is reciprocal in that they see me as an inspiration, someone who is like them, and I'm equally inspired by them also, who are doing the same thing I did, which for all intents and purposes is very difficult and very challenging. And so that is an inspiration to me. And I'm sorry, my camera again is acting up.
I feel very emotional when you say that, Michael, because I'm also a first generation, believe it or not, going into university and from my family, and nobody has got beyond primary. And to actually, the emotional intelligence around this concept of how do you manage to go from point A to point B, a lot of my students don't see that. They think that it is, where you are at the moment is, it's great, but how you got there. And again, reflecting the journey that they're going through, coming from very different backgrounds, again, very international backgrounds where there are some certain values that are imposed upon them. How do they make out the best of themselves to come out of those barriers that don't allow them to fulfill themselves? And that's what always inspires me. The process of and the journey that they are on during the year that I look after them. They become teachers, they become a different person, they become professionals, they become more confident. They become that they're ready to take on the world, and they didn't think that they would at the beginning of this journey. So I very much resonate with them in that sense, that I never thought I would be there with them, based on my background. And I keep telling them your background does not define you. So thank you.
No, absolutely not. We're not defined by where we're from. And one of the other things that I get a lot from students is that they doubt themselves because they doubt that they can complete their education. They doubt that they're smart enough, intelligent enough. And I try to tell them that everyone is smart, everyone's intelligent in their own right. I think what makes us all different is that some of us are willing to work harder, and hard work eventually is the one thing that separates us from the pack, who's willing to put the effort in most. Margarita, you have your hand up.
Yes, thank you, Michael. Just to say that I am also the same case as Fotimi and Michael. But on the other side, I don't believe that going to university and having a master's degree and a PhD degree defines us either. I mean that we have our personality, our character. My grandmother, for example, that is my example as I grew up with her as well. She's not here anymore. She had no degree, but she had emotional intelligence. She worked hard as she and my grandfather. It was a difficult time at the time. So of course, it's important to have an education, but It is not the most important thing in the world, and we shouldn't be defined by PhD. It's our character and our actions that of every day that should define us, and this is what I believe. Thank you.
Very well said, Margarita. Thank you so much for sharing that. Evangelos.
Well, I'm singing in the same tune, actually, as Fotini and Margarita and so forth. Epigrammatically, as we say, I have often complained in my life that I was surrounded by illiterate PhDs. And the opposite, my grandmother also. My grandmother, in fact, didn't even go to primary school. She went through a very difficult life. And I think that the only text that I had ever seen, she died 106, as I may have mentioned. And that longevity was a miracle if you assess it against the problems and the difficulties that she went through that century plus of being on this planet. She was amazing in terms of her courage, her achievements with these meager means, and of course, her love for her family, her love for others, you know, who were in bad situations. And I think that the only texts that she ever read in those 100+ years were saint lives. Saint Peter and Saint this and Saint that, okay? This was always, you know, by her side. And my mother, again, because of the very tough situation in which she was brought up, I think finished what we would call junior high school. And very soon after that, I mean, already in her teens, she became a successful professional and businesswoman. So, you know, here to me were always examples of the weak connection between formal education, in quotation marks, you know, and pardon me the Greek expression, but I taught my Indian students of the postgraduate program at the Indian Institute of Management where I taught, who were obsessed with degrees and qualifications and so on and so forth. I taught them the Greek word expression, kolocharto. Now, kolocharto is toilet paper. And I told them that once as a student at Johns Hopkins, in the toilet, somebody had written with a marker pen, university degrees, please take one. And that stuck, you know, in my mind. And now I have many professionals in India who know the word kolocharto. Thank you.
I think now we all know that word. Thank you. Yes, Jürgen, please.
Kolocharto. Well, Evangelos is laughing, so it cannot have been too far off. That's good. I wanted to say I find that quite interesting because it's also my experience. I'm also the first university graduate in the family, and I think for our generations, this is perhaps also not so surprising. And I think, although of course Margarita and Fotini are very young, I hasten to add, and yeah, but I still think we should not underestimate the advantage, you know, that comes from kind of being born into a family of graduates, you know, and I mean, you basically have a head start, right? I mean, if everything else is equal, so to speak, which I also completely agree with Evangelos there and Margarita. There are other things which are more important, also in my opinion. Yeah, so it's quite interesting that I mean, at least 5 of us have the same experience of being the first university graduate in the family. Just wanted to say it's the same to me.
Thank you, Jürgen. And you know, when you're the first, what you end up being is the ultimate role model. And I have siblings that have graduated college. My children have graduated college, family members that have graduated college. And it's been quite fulfilling to see that as a pioneer, I was able to inspire them in that regard for that good role modeling. This has been a very interesting discussion, and we do have a few minutes left. And does anyone else want to share anything before we leave? Fatini, go ahead.
Thank you so much. I was just looking at the PowerPoint in front of us and looking at inspirational techniques. And I was thinking, what are the techniques for instilling inspiration? And then I was thinking, actually, the first step we need to take in order to be an inspiration or to aspire inspiration again, I guess, to our surroundings is to have this possibility to come out of ourselves. Because what I also find with my students is that they take a long time to let go being the center of attention because it's all about themselves and thinking how they're going to be, how they're going to be in the classroom, how they're going to perceive all these kind of worries that they have as very young, immature in a good way. This is not a bad thing for me to say this word, and not yet emotionally intelligent in that sense. So I think once they find the key to let go of themselves and think about the others, that's where I think the process of inspiration starts. And to help them achieve that, the classes that I run, even lectures like before COVID, with physically 80 to 100 students in the amphitheater, I always make sure that they all interact with the people in front of them, with the people behind them, with people they don't know, and to help them see that during that process of interaction, they actually start listening to each other. They start to actively listen and thinking what they're actually doing, and getting the information from other people from a different perspective also really helps. In the online environment, I actually found that it is also possible to do that thanks to the tools like breakout rooms or physically putting people, especially because I know them, to actually put them in specific groups to make sure they learn from each other. And I think that's a really big important element of inspiration. Thank you.
Thanks, Fatini. And Jürgen, you have your hand up.
Yeah, I just wanted to piggyback on what Fatini was saying about the techniques. I was using Stephen Brookfield's critical incident questionnaire last term for the first time. And I don't think it's so famous that I should assume that everybody knows what it is. So it asks 5 questions at the end of every session. And I can't remember all of them, but some of them are, what was the most useful? What was the most engaging? What was the most distancing? What was the most surprising? You know, these kind of questions. And I was actually using Microsoft Form. And then I got an Excel spreadsheet with all the answers. And then I actually summarized the answers and I presented them in a PowerPoint in the next session. So to also share with the students what were the results of these 5 questions. And I did that every session. It was a little bit of work, but it was very interesting because I never got so much feedback in my life as a teacher as compared to using this method. And one of the things that the students told me that they really like it when I tell stories. And I wasn't so sure about that because I was thinking, well, maybe I'm talking too much about myself, maybe it's off topic, maybe it's boring. But apparently they really liked it. And that has actually also inspired me to tell more stories, which could be potentially inspirational.
Thank you, Jürgen. I also wonder sometimes if I'm telling too many stories, but like you, my students give me the same feedback as well. Evangelos, you have 2 minutes, 2-3 good minutes, please, and then we're going to close this session.
Thanks, Michael. Plenty of time. Yeah, I mean, as is obvious, I'm also a storyteller. And narrative is one of my key central interests. Now, in a sense, I'll come back through stories to a previous comment I made about introspection and reflective diaries in inquiry-based teaching and learning. And obviously, I realize now by thinking and focusing on inspiration, I have so much evidence in my students' reflective diaries of inspiration by each other. And I'll never forget, again, one of my Belushi students who talks to great lengths, I think a couple of pages, about the inspiration that he got from one of his girl classmates as she was really, leading the team, their particular team, in reflection, planning, and so on and so forth. And I thought, wow, for a culture which is fairly macho-centric, this was fantastic. So I think I'll go back to the records I have and check out for cases of reflecting on inspirations. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Evangelos. And I would like to thank all the participants who joined us here for this very inspiring session, if I may. Margarita, you have the last word if you want to give us any important message.
Thank you so much, everybody. Yes, I believe the exchange session are the most powerful, and it really inspires everybody. So it's a great thing. We will take 1 hour for our break, and I invite you all to stay. We have one last session, and then the small surprise with the son, the daughter of our wonderful Sofia Karanikolas and Haris. So see you in 1 hour.
morning. Good morning here.
Hello, Suzanne. Nice to see you.
It's nice to see you as well. I wish I could be there.
For now, it's better that you are not, because you have seen what happens with the fires.
Well, true.
Nearby. So it's good. We are doing the best with the virtual mode, and apart from the different times that we have. So USA, it's difficult to join the morning session. I do understand. Apart from that, I'm 100% certain that we have had a great interaction so far. And we will go on, of course, with this last but not least 2 sessions. So we have 2 different breakout rooms. I don't know if Dr. Cynthia Joy is here. I don't see her. So maybe I could ask, I see Arthur. Would you like to chair the session 17, dear Arthur? Do you have the program?
I do have the program. If you need me to chair it, that's okay.
Because you have the experience.
It's okay. Yep.
Arthur facilitated a great workshop. He's a specialist in facilitating and showing how we can interact, and we will share in any case the recordings of all the sessions and the PowerPoint presentation that Arthur had the kindness to share with us. So we will share it with all the participants to be able to see what he has proposed greatly. A very interactive session. So Dr. Ron Cabridge will chair. Hello, Ron. Will chair the session 16, and our dear Arthur will chair the session 17. Presenters will take each session 16 or 17, depending on where they present. In case not all the presenters are there, we always keep questions at the end. So we will have more time to interact. And if there is no more interaction until 3:20, where we are supposed to start our virtual celebration and presentation of awards, because we have a best poster award and a best paper award, we can take a small break. It's as Arthur will decide and as Ron will decide, depending on the interaction of each session. So we will now start taking our rooms.
So you just receive an invitation to join a room if you're able to join a room. If not, you can ask me to put you in a room. So there's 2 rooms today. There's the room Monastiraki for session 16 and room Kolonaki for session 17. For those who can't reach a room, just tell me which room do you want to go and it should be okay.
Hi, celebration. Paris has just sent me a voice message because we had prepared a bit of dancing for you, but unfortunately he had a small car accident, so it's not very serious, but he won't be here to show us some Greek dances. I don't know if Fotini feels like it, but we are not prepared for, and I asked also at Asimina and Johnny, but they are not prepared for, but so anyway, it's okay. I will say 2 or 3 words before we sing together as well the song, so you will accompany me. And before we also listen to the professionals, the wonderful kids of Sofia Karanikolas, Simina, and Socrates or Johnny, who are great. And I was very emotional last week when we also listened to them. So they are from Australia and they will sing us in Greek. They have a great voice. Asimina has a great voice. I love the voice. So just 3 or 4 phrases I kept, and of course you can also, especially the vice presidents, share what your experience was these 3 days, because you are here from the morning until the evening, and you can also have a great opinion, Arthur as well, if he wants. So teaching to students how to learn. This is what Arthur just said at this last great session. Stay motivated. So both educator and facilitator and the student. So motivation and the purpose to do something. This is important. Working in partnership with student. I consider this important as well. And education is all about connecting. And for me, everything is about connecting, and everything is about the people with who we share things and we do things. And this is also the concept of the Communication Institute of Greece. We have a great community. We have created a great community with great universities from USA, from Singapore, great journals like JALT. So this is all about connecting, collaborating, being together, and creating positive examples for everybody else to follow. Of course, not everybody will follow, but even one is very, very important. So just to announce the best paper, this is of Dr. Or Leventhal, senior lecturer, and Dr. Hadas Brody from Israel, from the sport field to the classroom, the social road of an elite sport team in the periphery. They are not here, but congratulations from us all. And then, yes, we can make it loud as well, you're right. And the best poster award of Jiaming Wan, PhD student, Institute of Higher Education, Beijing Normal University, a study on gender differences in the employment of doctoral graduates in China. So congratulations to her as well. And congratulations to all the students from China, because we have discussed a little bit how much it's difficult for them. They are facing connection problems because of what happens over there, limited access, and this was new to me, and I'm very impressed, and I congratulate all this great effort from the students. So to communicate through music, me, Asimina, Johnny, Harry will not be here. I will stop sharing to see you all. And I will ask you if we can do like this, everybody, just to learn. This is what we do in Greece. 1, 2, 3, 4. I don't know if you do it in your, we do it a lot when we dance. Since we are not going to dance, because I'm not prepared, because I could also show you some. I used to do it when I was in France. I teach the traditional Greek dances, but let's do it. Let your microphone on and we can listen to each other. We make noise now. It's the time to make noise. Come on. Great. Michael, you need some work there. You're doing well. Louis, great. Oh, everybody. When I do this, because sometimes me and my kids are dancing, and I do this a lot, and they are trying, and they, How do you do it? With which finger? And this is great. And I want us to learn, as we did last week, to say together. Michael is already well trained to do it. Evangelos, I think, as well. Luis as well. Elpida and Georgian, I think you learned it as well. You are there, of course. Sophia, Asimina, and Johnny as well. Na me agapas, which means love me. Na me agapas. Love is what we need in this world. So this is a symbolic song that we will try to sing together, at least the refrain. And it's of Pavlos Sidiropoulos. And I will need you to sing the refrain with me. Na me agapas, όσο μπορείς, να με αγαπάς. So let's try it. Σου γράφω πάλι από ανάγκη. Η ώρα 5 το πρωί. Το μόνο πράγμα που έχει μείνει όρθιος στον κόσμο είσαι εσύ. Τι να τις κάνω τις τιμές τους, τα λόγια τα θεατρικά, μες στην οθόνη του μυαλού μου, ναι Φωτεινή, Αθήνα είδωλα νεκρά. All together now. Να μ' αγαπάς όσο μπορείς να μ' αγαπάς. Great! Να μ' αγαπάς όσο μπορείς να μ' αγαπάς. One more time, Arthur. Luis, να μ' αγαπάς όσο μπορείς να αγαπάς. Να μ' αγαπάς όσο μπορείς να μ' αγαπάς. Thank you so much. You are all wonderful. But thank you all, and we will now let Asmina and Johnny, who are more professional than me, but it was great to share this with you. Thank you.
That was lovely, Margarita, and I don't know if we're more professional than you. You're the real professional. No, that was so lovely. We're just going to play 2 songs there in Greek. And thank you so much for having us. The first one is called Mehrina Meurano, which translates directly to Until We Find Sky, or heaven is the metaphorical translation. And I think that's fitting for this because we're all aspiring for something higher, even though I'm not sure the song was initially written for that. It's more of a love song, but as Margarita said, love's at the center of everything. So we hope you enjoy.
Don't worry. It's all good. Thank you for being here. Don't worry. And
we've got one more.
Yeah, is that okay?
Wow. Yes, one more.
This one's called, this one's a very popular song in Greece, and although it's actually a sad song, funnily we were talking about it before, it's actually played at a lot of parties. So it's called Kanis Edo Den Traguda, which means no one here sings, but I'm singing. So
yeah. And often when they play it, everyone there sings.
Yeah, exactly. 2, 3, 4.
Ράγιζε απόψε η καρδιά με το παγάκι όλα κομμάτια έγινε σπασμένο θυμηθήκα που πίναμε σε τροπικό τραπέζι. Τώρα ποιος ξέρει που γυρνά, ποιος ξέρει τι Κανείς εδώ δεν τραγουδά, κανένας δεν χορεύει, άκουνε μόνο την παινιά που σωστά ταξιδεύει, άκουνε μόνο την παινιά κι σωστά είχε αντίθετο Αντωνής, φέρνον στον περνάκι, κρυμμένοι πάνε στη γωνιά για να τον Κανείς εδώ δεν τραγουδά, κανένας δεν χορεύει, άκουνε μόνο την παινιά που σωστά Thank you.
Thank you so much, you guys from Australia. You're great. Thank you so much for sharing with us your talent, your passion, and all the best. Let's stay positive. And this is the message we would like to, from this whole conference, from this excellent interactive event, music, communication, cultural expression. We keep our differences, we respect the other differences, we try to stay motivated and passionate. Life is wonderful. We came in this world for a reason, and especially educators have a great purpose to provide the light of creativity and motivation to their students in a difficult time we all face around the globe. It's true, but this is what we should now cherish the most: contact, communication, collaboration, because life is so short and so magical. We should take advantage of every minute of it. Thank you so much for being here. If anybody would like to say something, it would be with great pleasure, especially our vice presidents. Yes, Fotini.
I want to thank you, Margarita, on behalf of the entire community for your passion, your dedication, your spirit that has brought us all together and keeps us going even during very difficult times. So I want to ask everyone with their open mics to give a big round of applause to Margarita for bringing us together.
Bravissimo, brava, brava, brava.
I would say it is the community that counts. So we all together create things. It's never
But
one.
you're a great leader. Otherwise, we wouldn't be here.
Thank you so much, Fotini. You know my feelings for you, and you are a light to your students, to other people, to us all. And thank you so much for being here as well in this wonderful community. Thank you. And Jurgen?
Yeah, I just wanted to echo Fotini. I mean, without Margarita, this obviously would not have happened. And I thought it was a fantastic conference. I mean, I kind of guessed that it would be good because I already enjoyed the small parts of the ICCM conference last week that I had the great fortune to attend very much. And the conference where we first met in 2019 in another era, obviously the pre-pandemic era, that was kind of life-changing for me, as I told you before, because it really opened up this wonderful network and a lot of fantastic collaborations. But I thought, yeah, it was a fantastic conference. And as some of you also said before, it was a little bit of a blessing in disguise that we did not always have so many presentations because we had some really fantastic discussions, and they may not have been possible if you know, the program had been for us. So congratulations, and thank you so much, Margarita.
Thank you so much, Jurgen. And as I said, everything happens for a reason in this life, and we should also we should always try to see the positive side and not the negative. Everything happens for a good reason. Yes, Michael?
I just want to say again, thank you, Margarita. You know, one of the things that I enjoy, and we met in 2018, and I've enjoyed our collaboration since. One of the things that I enjoy is that we are such a big world, and we're all from different corners of the world, but we come together and we realize that we have more in common than we do have different. And I think that's great because we're a good society of people that we can share our experiences. We can, you know, throw out ideas and solicit feedback. And I really enjoy that. And thank you all for attending.
Thank you as well. Yes, Sophia.
I just really want to reinforce what everyone has said. Margarita, you are a very special human being. And I know everyone in this group of people really recognize that, because to be able to achieve what you have in these difficult conditions has been absolutely like a godsend for a lot of us. I have met some of my most favorite people from all around the world, and all I'm really wishing for the opportunity to actually get to meet everybody face to face, because for me, it's been wonderful, absolutely right from the start. I've had a bit of a difficult year, so I wasn't as involved as I would have liked to have been. But, you know, I am just so very grateful to have met you and the whole community. So thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Sophia, as well. And before I leave Vangelos speak, I would like every one of us to give a big applause to Luis. Because without him, nothing would be possible. He was there, and I felt from Paris someone like him always there to motivate me as well. So thank you so much, Luis, and I'm glad
you're right, Louis.
Community.
Thank you. It was a pleasure to. Yeah, it was a pleasure to be part of this project. I think. When Margarita reached me 1 year ago about this, we made a gamble, and we tried to maybe see if there was a possibility to not get back to what we used to do in physical, but to try to make some kind of innovation by using the new technology like Zoom and other application in order to say that we are not done. We are not going back to our old ways. We are just moving forward, and I think to see the dedication for so many people, like I said in ICCM, just Michael flying from US to Greece in order to be on time. Other people just waking up really early, sleeping really late in order to be there, and it's really important for Margarita, for the association, and I think this will be the beginning of another collaboration. And I will advise you that present now to, if you're willing to collaborate to bring something to the organization, feel free to contact Margarita to bring ideas. She's always open. And I think this conference is testifying on the openness Margarita has when it comes to education. So it was a very big pleasure for me to be part of this conference, even though I was tired because I had to wake up really early in order to open the conference and stuff. But I think it was a very good engagement to me, and now that we are closing the conference, I think I'm going to take a really long vacation and be prepared for next year. So thank you, Margarita, for the opportunity, and thank you all for being there.
Thank you, Luis. Thank you. Really. Vraiment, merci beaucoup. On t'aime, tous les sais. Vagele?
I have a dream. And my dream is where I really suffered a lot, and unfortunately my tears were not enough to put out the fire. In my father's village, right in the pine forest, on a hill 700 meters altitude, overseeing the Aegean islands and sailing ships, which unfortunately now is reduced to ashes. My dream is, when it is rebuilt, that we can have an event, a conference, of coming there and enjoy nature at its very best.
Thank you, Evangelos. Thank you. We should all try to act for the environment, and this is what we as a community are going to discuss. This will be September, October, we will see. We will meet all together and we will try to discuss what actions we can do to help the environment, because globally, if we stay as we are, we will not be here in 20 years. So it's important to discuss about it. Thank you, everybody. I love you all, and take care, stay positive. We continue communicating, interacting, and you are all invited to become members of our community. So to be able to interact, this was very important. And I see, since you have stayed until now, you are strong enough to do things. So important. Thank you. Bye.